restoring Illinois to greatness. This is Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute and hosted by AM 560's Dan Proft.
Dan Proft back with Pat Hughes, co-founder of the Illinois Opportunity Project. And Pat, you get around the state and talk quite a bit, as do I. And I don't know if you've had this experience, but my experience talking to people, again, around the state, is within about a minute or two of, the typical small talk, how you doing, what's going on, family, family, career, that sort of thing. You get to the point in the conversation fairly quickly where the person you're speaking with is going to explain to you their exit strategy from Illinois. When I retire, I'm out of here. When the kids are out of school, we're out of here. And find that evidence to support what I'm hearing anecdotally is that Houston is poised to pass Chicago in the near term as the third most populous city in the country.
It makes me sad. I remember when I was a kid and L.A. passed us and we went from second to third. That was very distressing. I mean, this is not a surprise, Dan, and we talked about this earlier in the show, right? I mean, Chicago is looking to fill a massive budget hole with increased property tax. There's the Netflix tax. We talked about the e-cigarette tax. The CPS is a failed school system that doesn't educate children.
And just to stop you there, that's a big problem because it turns out people with children move to communities that have good school systems. Good school is the foundation of good communities. Good healthcare system is the foundation of good communities. So if your community doesn't have quality schools, quality healthcare facilities, you're going to hemorrhage population.
Right. So they start by moving to the suburbs and trying to find a better way of life here. But then when the overall state economy doesn't work, what do? You go to a different state in a different city where you can have better employment opportunities, better educational opportunities for the children. And frankly, right now, Houston is kicking our behinds and doing much better. They have low taxes. They have a positive business environment. They have an energy industry that's booming. And so it doesn't surprise me. It saddens me. But it doesn't surprise me to see that Houston is looking to pass us in population growth in the next decade.
And we had a couple of developments this week. One is Kiplinger released their list of 50 states, states that are best for taxpayers and states that are worst for taxpayers. Illinois, it turns out, not on the list of states that are best for taxpayers.
I'm so surprised by that.
Yeah, it's a shocking development. WalletHub.com actually ranks Illinois the worst state in the country in terms of climate for taxpayers. So if you can get a better quality of life at a lower cost, I mean, if I could move from Chicago to Northwest Indiana, I still have access to Chicago, which is a great city, a fun city, but reduce my cost of living by 25, 30, 40%. Then, boy, that's a real attractive thing to do.
It really is. And I keep saying it's sad because it is sad because this is a wonderful place to live. It's a wonderful place to raise your family, but not economically. I mean, just the opportunity it has, the city of Chicago. It's a beautiful, diverse state with wonderful people in it. But the politicians and the political class are giving these people who would love to stay really no choice in the matter. And as a consequence, families break up. And I talk to people all the time around the state where their college kid leaves for college. They go to college out of state, mostly because it's less expensive, and they go get a job out of state. Families are broken up. So it's a policy decision that's being made and has been made over and over again. And we should look at cities like Houston and Dallas and other places and see the policies they're implementing and try to convince the political class to implement those policies, because over the long run, that'll benefit Chicago and the rest of the state.
Well, and the problem, right, is that Chicago is just a city. It's not a state, but the Chicago political culture was long ago exported to Springfield. Correct. And then we exported it to D.C. just to quadruple down on it. But that's the problem. Chicago still really dominates state policy decisions because of who's in charge of state government.
Yeah, it has bled throughout the state. The people who are in charge of state government, from Mike Madigan, who's a Chicago Democrat, to Rahm Emanuel, and of course he was exported out to D.C. and now is taking a little bit of. We sent Chicago out to D.C. and have taken a little bit of the bad D.C. back to Chicago. Until that changes, until people are convinced to change the policies in an electoral way, this is where it's going to continue to persist. And what I fear is 10 years ago, if we live that long, you and I will be sitting here having this conversation about
somber,
right, about how Pittsburgh is passing us, or who knows who's passing us in population down the road. Not that there's anything wrong with Pittsburgh or anywhere else, but
Steelers.
The Steelers is your favorite team. It's distressing to think that this once great dynamic city, second in population to only New York, the second city, down the road could be fifth, sixth, seventh, and onward.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to say that I'm not leaving. The people who suck should leave, like the people in charge of city and state government. But, I'm not totally unflexible on that position. I mean, if they heap enough punishment, then everybody's going to leave who is not completely insulated from terrible public policy, meaning the uber rich and the uber poor and not much in the middle.
Yeah.